my bowl of cereal. It's 100 grams of granola, 100 grams in weight, and 1 whole banana, and a little bit of milk. That's gonna be my breakfast. I had a pretty heavy meal last night actually, so this is all I'm on for breakfast. And done my bottles. I got my bars ready. I'll show them all later when I get to the race. And I've also got my coffee brewing now, which is right here. Okay, off we go to our first race of the year. Okay, don't worry about the camera. It's like set up on the dashboard. I don't have to touch it at all, so I'm not fiddling with it while I'm driving. I just wanted to say, yesterday I was talking to somebody on a club ride about today's race. Today's race is the Betty Farrell Memorial. It's like a 75-mile race, or like 120 kilometers, something like that, around some of the kind of more well-known roads around like Cowbridge area, so near Bridgend, South Wales. In fact, it's not often you can literally leave your house like so late and, you know, drive to a race. Like, often you're kind of in a hotel, you've got to get up early, you've got a long drive the day before to get there, or a long drive on the morning to get there, so it's actually quite nice. But anyway, more on the race later. The conversation I had yesterday with this one particular rider on the ride yesterday was just about like how, because she's never raced a road race, and the kind of like the build up to it, and like maybe the excitement or the nerves, like what does it all entail, and how do you feel, and what happens afterwards? Like, are you very analytical? Do you like, does it take you a while? She actually asked me like, how long does it take you to get over it, and I said, oh, yeah, I wake up the next morning and I'm kind of over it. Like, I've analysed it, I'm done with it. You know, win or lose. Generally you lose more than you win, but interestingly, like, you know, she was surprised at my answer that I get over it, you know, within the next day. And you know, I guess it depends who you are and kind of how bad your race went or whatever. But for me, I think when I come into a bike race, like, this is my first physical bike race of 2019, and you know, there's lots of kind of uncertainties. Like, you know, you never know what kind of shape you're in until you race. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm a little bit excited. And we were like kind of taught a few years ago that the hormones that are released and the chemical changes that happen in the body when you're nervous and when you're excited are technically the same thing. It's just the way you're obviously perceiving it, and it's just the current climate that you're in. So obviously, if you're driving to a race and you know, you're thinking about the race and all these things, generally you'd assume you're getting nervous, but you're also getting very excited. So a little trick I tend to play on myself is that I just keep saying I'm excited. I'm just excited to go. I just want to, you know, crack on. I'm not nervous. I'm not like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm just excited. So funny, like I said about driving to the race, I'm in my dad's van. This is the glamour now that I think maybe 90% of you might think that, you know, what's the glamorous life he lives as a full-time athlete or full-time cyclist? It's not. This is the reality. So I'm in my dad's van. I don't actually own a car, so I haven't owned a car my whole life yet. Obviously I'm only 24, but I basically car share. So I'm on Charlie's insurance, I'm on my dad's insurance. I'm very thankful to be able to use the vehicles, but if I'm honest with you, I only really use a car once every 10 days for something. Like, if I want to go to the shops, I'll walk, and obviously if I need to get anywhere, I generally use a bike or a train, because you can take the bike on the train, for example. Well, that was a bit of a mad panic. Signing on didn't open until 9 o'clock, and then there was like a massive queue to sign on to get your race numbers, and it was all just massive chaos. Today I'm racing in neutral colours. I'm unfortunately still haven't got my my team kit yet, so I'm racing in neutral, dark navy blue, black shorts. Aside from that, like, the numbers are dead small. Well done race organisers. I hate having big numbers. And I'm gonna have my coffee now. I've had around 60 grams of carbs since getting here, so an hour before I've had 60 grams of carbs. I've got some bars here. Just got some simple bars. 27 grams of carbs in each bar. Pretty low on everything else. And we've got energy in our bottles too. So we are ready to go. I am doing the elite race today. There's a lot of big teams here. I'm actually parked next to Canyon, and their massive mechanics truck is like just back there somewhere. Crazy to think how, you know, these kind of races, which are generally kind of, you know, small, they're national races, but they're still on a smaller scale than what we kind of associate, you know, races that professional teams generally do. And yet they have, like, you know, big support, which is great to see. So they've come with, like, you know, mechanics, spare wheels, obviously team car and stuff like that. It's nice though, like, coming to a race on your own. Like for me today, coming on my own, driving here and just like having a chill has a different vibe to it. Madison Genesis are also here. They've got like 6-man team. John Mould, Tom Moses, a few of the other guys. I've only named them because they live in Wales. And obviously very good bike riders. And we've also got like some of the other kind of top domestic kind of level teams here, which kind of transforms this race into like a mini Premier calendar almost. So we got half an hour till the start, and I'm going to use the opportunity now to check the weather, more importantly the wind. So I use the Windy app, which a lot of you have already said, oh, why don't you use my windsock, which I do, but the Windy app is quite good for just on the fly stuff. So looking at, there's Cowbridge, so kind of the circuit kind of follows, like goes up to Ogmore Village, comes back around to Wick, and then back to Cowbridge, past Laverack Major. So you can see there the wind is fairly, let's like tap 18 mile an hour, 19 mile an hour. So it's a big headwind coming out on this road here, and then we turn and we come in a big tailwind, and then probably a crosswind, but I know it's quite sheltered there, so I don't think much will happen. Fast forward to 1 o'clock, the race finishes up here, so we're going to have a big tailwind. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Ah, no! It's not going well. No, I don't have a scoop. Lost gains. Okay, now that I'm on the motorway, I'm going to spend, oh my word, look at the dust in here. Ugh. Anyway, I want to spend like the next few minutes just talking about what happened in the race. I don't want to go into too much detail because what I want to do this year is something that I didn't do very well last year, and that's to like literally break down the race, like in like show you how I break it down and how I look back and kind of evaluate stuff. So in its simplest form, today's race was like, well, I don't know where I finished, and the reason why I don't know where I finished is because like the course today was like really exposed, really windy. There was like an awful lot going on. Like there was a lot of groups kind of going away, then they were coming back, and then like there was groups going off the back because of the wind, and then we had this cross tailwind section, and then it was like causing mayhem. There was lots of stuff going on, so like trying to keep track of like who was up the road and like which group had just come back, it was like really hard to do. So I have no idea where I finished. On the plus side though, like I felt, and I've not looked at my numbers or anything, this is why I want to give like this kind of view, and then a view then when I've like evaluated everything. So the race, as far as I'm concerned, was like maybe a 7 out of 10, which is kind of neither here nor there. Like, it's neither hard and it's neither easy. The race finished on like a long drag, like 1.5k at like 3-4%, but we had a whopping tailwind and the climb was like over like that, so not really any kind of climb to stretch your legs. I was definitely tired. Like, first off, I drank like 1.5 bottles, like 750ml, maybe a little bit less, which isn't a lot, but it was full of carb mix, so it was kind of like, it was very sweet. And I also only ate like 3 out of the 6 bars I was carrying. So yeah, I'm not really fussed about where I came. Like, for the first race of the year, it's kind of like I know there's lots of people out today with their first race of the year, and some of them, you know, are going really, really well and doing, you know, a lot better than maybe what they expect. For me, I'm kind of like, I know exactly what to expect. You know, I've been racing Swift. I've been, you know, kind of restricted. It's only the last kind of month, I'd say, that I've been able to train on the road properly. And it takes kind of like 3 weeks for your body to start soaking up and adapting to the training that you're giving it, to the new stimulus. So for me, it's like, I've still not kind of, my body's still not recognised that training that I put in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Hence why a lot of people say, you know, don't do a panic week of training the week before your big event, because it's not going to make a difference. The difference happens, you know, 3 weeks before, 4 weeks before, where your body's had a chance to adapt to what you've done, basically. So, you know, we're kind of like on the cusp of maybe coming into some good fitness, you know, in maybe a week or 2 weeks. Just so happens that this race came this weekend, and we just, you know, not. And that's the other thing. It's not an A-grade race, so I'm not peaking for this race. But you could say that about the Madison Genesis guys. You know, they're not all peaking for this race, but they were going really well. You know, so too with the Canyon guys, and you know, plenty of other riders are all going very, very well. So obviously we got a bit of work to do, but I'm excited. Like, I'm excited that I've got work to do. Like, that's what drives me. That's what keeps me like motivated, and the passion just to keep. I know this all cliche terms, but like, when you know you've got work to do, it just drives you. It just really, really drives the crap out of me. Like, I just want to train smart, hard, recover well, and just like bounce from training session to training session. And just to kind of put it into context, because I'd hate to like leave this video open-ended and like not tell you what's happening, but I know that I'm probably going to make a video tomorrow, but I don't know yet. I'm going to be training tomorrow. I saw a lot of people kitting up after the race and going out for an extra ride, like an hour, 2 hours after a race. But I'm more about, let's just recover, let's just let the mind reset, and we're going to go again tomorrow. We're going to do like a good session tomorrow and keep it rolling, keep it bouncing, so not necessarily burning myself out in one day. I appreciate that that's different to a lot of people's views, but it's just my view. Just putting it out there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, my first race back. I know there's no content of the race whatsoever. Well, that's what happens 95% of the time anyway. I'm gonna see you soon.